Welcome back to the Zachrilege Cast podcast. The first segment was all about me, so let me thank Cy Lost for being on last week. But that persona is almost technically dead, and sadly, you'd have to become my first $100 an episode Patreon to get an audio of his final show. I'm sorry, Cy, we all have a cost. Bobby C. has two regrets in life. One is telling Jesus, pull my finger. Number two is kicking off this here podcast. Or is it? Bobby C. of No Religion Required, welcome back to the show. Miss Ashley might be around the background. If not, well, you know.
I'm here for the moment.
Oh, perfect.
If the youngins call, I got to go running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's good to see you again.
Okay, let me, good to see you, and let me include some Bobby quotes. This is from our original. He was number one. I was just going to talk about podcasts. And Bobby's like, no, bring me on. I'll talk. And he knows how to talk. So he was number one. And to help Miss Ashley's ego, I talked to Bobby for 37 minutes. I talked to Miss Ashley for an hour and a minute. So there you go.
Woohoo!
So you win.
Yeah,
Bobby quotes. Miss Ashley was a trip. I'm finer than the hairs on a frog's ass.
Sounds about right.
She's full of bloopers.
Yep.
I'm not the talent. Shut up, Miss Ashley. Jesus gave it to me.
Wait, what?
Jesus gave it to me.
Okay. I said that?
Mm-hmm. I love her the way she is. And 2 seconds later, shut up, good Lord.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And finally, I will definitely record you while you are drunk.
Yes.
And
Yes, I will.
to introduce Miss Ashley, she just learned how to spell Buddhism when Bobby told her, hey, honey, guess what? I ain't into that religion nonsense no more. That's a paraphrase. Somehow she joined the program and is now the co-host of the No Religion Required podcast, coming to you live most weeks on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Right, nice. Okay, some Ashley quotes.
Oh, boy.
I started drinking at 9:30.
Yeah?
I finally got Deb to start drinking at 12. Hitty titties.
Hitty titties. Oh, I forgot all about hitty titties. Yeah,
You always get yours.
she does.
Let me tell y'all something. Bobby's equipment wears out.
Damn. Apparently it's got a shelf life. Wow.
And two that I use during these programs, the Song of Solomon, It's Hot. And thank you, Bobby, for bringing the equipment. And seriously, 2 minutes before I was going to start the pre-show, I was like, hey, where'd my earbuds go? No, I have an equipment failure. So instantly, something bad had happened. But it was very quick. I found them, and we're all good, and we're here. I do want to thank y'all for being on, and of course, for being kind of an inspiration for me getting started. Man, what a weird time machine it was going back, because I listened to Bobby's show, which was the first one, which was like January 2015. And then the Miss Ashley show was like the week after ReasonCon, so that was a totally different time. And it also included my cat Chewy, who passed away that July. So I'm like, oh man, I got history of like listening to my cat. Cats were way more into the podcast than these ones. So we're here, and while Miss Ashley is here, let's throw some questions out that both you can answer. So is No Religion Required kind of like couples therapy?
Easily. I have never thought of it, but yeah, I guess if you listen to our last episode, it kind of is couples therapy.
So what are you saying? We need therapy?
We don't need therapy. We have a live show that we just do our therapy in front of the entire world.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
You're working out your issues. Yeah, you were discussing, was it a local politician last week who got caught being drunk in public, which nobody on this show's ever been caught doing that, so we're cool. So
no.
We can judge.
No, it's funny because the way Ashley and I are on the show is exactly how we are in real life. It's not anything put on. It's it's just us. And there's a lot of times that we'll get into the conversations on the show, and I guess it can kind of be couples therapy. It's one of those things where someone who happens to be, married, and they're liable to hear themselves and their wife or husband or whatever in our show, because we do talk about, real life things. We do put ourselves out there sometimes.
Right, which was, during, I think it was like middle ways through our tenure of, or whatever, of No Religion Required. We were halfway through, and Bobby decided to censor me. And I was,
That was a big problem.
yeah, that was a huge problem for me, because the fact that, I couldn't be myself. And that's what I like about No Religion Required, is that I can be myself. I don't have to be Ashley at work, or Ashley the mom, or Ashley the daughter, or Ashley the sister, or whatever. I can be Ashley.
Do you have different color fingernails for real?
Yes, I do.
Sorry,
You just now noticed it. I painted these Sunday, and you just now noticed it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you didn't. You painted those last night.
No, I did not.
Yes, the hell you did.
I did not.
Paint it.
I painted them Sunday night because Monday I woke up with stuff and with my nails all messed up.
No.
And I was going to go to the place to get my nails done yesterday, but I got off work late. And then I had to rush home tonight for the Zachrilege. I can't even say it.
Zachrilege cast.
Thank you.
Yes.
So.
A couple of drinks, you can say much better.
And by the way, folks, this is marriage therapy.
I know, like, this right here, this is what the show is. And
yeah,
I think the live version, because how long have you been doing live show now?
We started doing live at episode 66, and I think we just did episode 159. No, I'm not sure where we are.
Yeah,
I think. Where the hell are we?
It's hard to remember, because unlike me, you're pretty good about showing up every week.
Wow, we're at 162. So almost 100 episodes ago, we went live. And I remember the first live show was a total train wreck. It's crazy, because we got, if I remember right, we were talking about the officer that body slammed a young girl at a pool. They had a disturbance in a neighborhood, and the guy...
That was in Texas.
Yeah, somewhere in Texas. And we were discussing that, and we went to a commercial break, and I hit the wrong button and lost everything. No audio, nothing. And this is my first time going live. Luckily for me, about 3 minutes into my panic, David Smalley called me. And he's like, "What the hell did you do?" I'm like, "I don't know." And I told Ashley, get on Facebook to let people know, listen, we'll be back, right? So after a 20-minute void of nothingness, I came back as if nothing ever happened, and I just spliced it together. And if you listen to that show, you never know that we had 20 minutes of silence in the midst of our first live show. But yeah, man, we went live at 6. I like live better than recorded any day of the week.
I remember you talking about the amount of time you spent editing on the first show.
I was such an idiot. In fact, I was. Listen,
I've edited once, and that was a nightmare, and I edited like 2 things.
I made an agreement with myself whenever I said, okay, if I don't do this podcast thing, I'm going to try to make it the most professional sounding, the best sounding show I can make so that people would listen. And I went through and took out every I mean, I was taking out breath sounds, and it was taking hours for me to do this. What an idiot. Really? Look, guys, if you do a recorded show, just let it ride. I mean, damn. Yeah, I spent a lot of time.
Yeah, there's some shows I've listened to, and the sound quality's tough. But for me, I guess I'm very forgiving. I mean, mine. I listened to my first show, and I'm like, well, I don't think I had the microphone. But other than that, it sounded fairly similar to what I'm doing now. Oh, maybe I haven't grown. That's not a good sign. But it's just, it is what it is.
100 episodes.
I mean, you almost have the same setup. Like, I think it's the same mic you had before.
Maybe.
Since whatever, 2 years ago, 2.5, you probably have some.
Oh no, this is my third kit.
Mm.
Yeah. So, oh no, as the show has grown, so has our equipment, I guess, because we have a lot.
Oh.
We have there's a quote for you. My equipment has grown along with the show. Not only
Look.
do your ears and nose get bigger when you get almost 50, other things get bigger too.
Look, in the time that we've been doing the show, some of his equipment has grown and some of his equipment has shrunk to the point that it's non-existent.
Anyway, so as
Yeah.
the show has advanced throughout, the last 3 years, we upgrade. We continue to upgrade the equipment. We have a lot less equipment issues now than we did in the beginning, and I think that just has to do with years of doing it, a lot of troubleshooting, and a lot of learning. So that's one thing about podcasting. You are always learning something new.
True. It is all through experience, and usually bad and scary experiences.
Yeah, things that make you look like an ass. Things that you have to go back and apologize for. It's just part of it, man. When you put your life out there in front of everybody, and you just bare yourself before the entire planet, you're not going to satisfy 100% of the people 100% of the time. And if you're wrong, be willing to say you're wrong and apologize. A lot of people will respect that anyway.
It is true.
And that's all I've got to say about that.
Now, while we have Miss Ashley here, I want to ask, since ReasonCon was about a month ago, are you still mad at me for unleashing Drunk Susie?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Feel free to tell the tale, or I can tell my part, you tell your part, because day 2, I think it was Saturday of ReasonCon.
I missed a lot.
And by the way, we talked about ReasonCon 2 years ago when we did our interview, and now we're at ReasonCon Part 3 together. Bill and Susie, part of a group. Of course, Bobby and Ashley. Bobby's, working. He's a working man, so he can't go out to lunch. We all go out to lunch, and they're like, we're going back to your room. We're going to drink. So I just kept handing Susie beers from my stash because I had a tub full of beer. Somehow people drank it. And then later in the day, slightly perturbed Miss Ashley came up to me and, read me the riot act, which,
First off,
hold
on. I know that Susie is her own person. I know this, which is why I must be around her, or Bill must be around her when there's beer involved.
First of all,
or liquor.
I just had a realization.
What?
It's Zach's fault that Bill was the way he was. Because every beer that you gave Susie that she didn't like the taste of, she handed it to Bill for Bill to finish. So it all comes back.
I heard that happened the first night because I'll call both of you asses, because ReasonCon's about to happen. I'm like, well, I'm coming up on Friday, and then I'll be there Saturday and leave Sunday. And everybody's like, oh, we're going to be there on Thursday, and we're going to start early. I'm like, what? I totally missed out. But from what I heard, that first night, you're in your room, you're handing Susie beers.
Yeah.
The problem was the Scenic City Skeptics folks are really into sour, so I had a bunch of those, and I found a beer or two that Susie really liked. So apparently that's a bad thing. I get beer that Susie doesn't like. I need beer, so it's got to be just right. Bill doesn't like it. Susie doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But anyway, and we were in the room for maybe 2 hours. And by the way, Bill was in the room. He was in the corner. He just wasn't paying attention because, he doesn't want to be on the whole weekend. But yeah, we left, and then I got the riot act, and I feel like I didn't really get this, because that's the way ReasonCon is. I didn't really get to see and hang out with you after that, and I was like, dang, I think Miss Ashley's still mad at me now, and I found out it's true. So I'm glad that we covered that.
Well, when I told her that we were supposed to come on your show, she did at first say "fuck Zach," but then she, yeah.
Well, I am the ass of the atheist community, or at least that should be on a T-shirt somewhere.
You have the nicest ass, and from what I hear.
Sorry, that wasn't part of the Patreon bonus.
We all know that Zach was bringing beer, and we all know that Zach would be feeding beer, most likely to Susie.
And he filled up his tub with ice.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a tub full of beer.
And like I said, I know Susie's her own person.
Where did you know her, by the way?
And Susie can, if Susie wants to drink like that, that's fine. That's on her. I just know, I know the after effect. And it was also 3:30 in the afternoon, and we hadn't even started the after party for ReasonCon yet.
Yeah.
I'm like, Susie's got to be at the after party. I can't because Susie's going to be passed out because Zach decided to feed her a 24-pack of beer in less than an hour.
Oh, it was like 3 or 4.
That the night that she left our room in Jim's shirt and a pair of
Yes.
panties. Okay, I understand.
And walked through the hotel room. I mean, the hotel.
Oh, she was drunk. Oh my god.
I'm going to tell listeners, you miss out on ReasonCon. You miss out on some serious stuff. I have heard that they're only doing it every other year, which is sad because
It's sad, but I understand.
it's an undertaking.
Well,
Oh, look, we got people in the chat room. I should say hi.
you never really know what goes on behind the curtain on these things. And being the MC this past ReasonCon, which I hope Gene will ask me to do it again because that was a lot of fun. But it was a lot of work as well. But taking a look behind the scenes of what it takes to run a conference, I understand. Because there's so much that goes into on the backside dealing with problems that people who attend a conference go up and go, man, I didn't even know there's a problem. That means that means it was successful. I muted your mic, ass.
Yeah, I was like, did she just start snoring? That's a good sound.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. So I'll shut up then, asshole.
No, that's a snort or what that
I want
was.
to know what Bobby sounds like when he's asleep. I have mastered that sound.
Oh, we want to go there? Oh, we could so go there.
No, because you don't have
You
that.
know all the sounds, yeah.
I got something
You've
called
been there.
Snore Records. Because I got something called Snore Records. Because actually, I get to snoring, and I'll turn on the audio on my phone and record her. And I have multiple audio files of Ashley snoring that's just going to show up on the show one day. Blackmail, baby.
It's okay. I got some blackmail too.
Mutually assured destruction. So when we talked initially, this was 2015. We were so innocent back then. But now you two are hitched. So what was the whole story behind you two finally deciding to tie the knot?
Because Bobby was dying.
Ah. I was also going to ask about the finger. So look at that. 2 questions in one. I'm a genius.
No,
I'll just break and you two talk. It's beautiful.
I think everybody who listens to the show knows, I don't know what their opinion is of the VA, but I will tell you my opinion of the VA. And through my experience, the only thing good I can say about the VA right now is they have a kick-ass breakfast. So
Their cafeteria kicks ass.
Right.
I hear you.
But I mean, Bobby and I had been together for 5 or 6 years, and I had watched him going back and forth from the VA, trying to get his blood pressure straight. Just anything and everything we were trying to get straight, and it was just always they tell him to go here, they tell him to go there, they tell him to go here, and nothing was ever resolved. And Bobby had developed a real pain in his finger, and he went to the VA, and they're like, "Oh, you just need antibiotics." So they antibioticed it up. Then they came back, and nothing was working. His finger was getting bigger and getting more painful, and so they said, "Oh well, we'll drain it. We'll give you another antibiotic." Well, a person can only take so many antibiotics. Okay. Come to find out, I'd finally just gotten sick of it. I was like, I've got this man whose finger is about the size of his head, and the VA is not doing anything about it. And so it just so happened that I was like, oh, Friday the 13th is the only Friday the 13th this year, and my baby needs some decent insurance. So I said, let's go get married. So on May the 13th, 2016, Bobby and I went down to the courthouse, got our marriage certificate, and came back home, and Jim Dobler officiated the
in our house,
our wedding, our
official
wedding. So, and then, literally, as soon as I got the word from my work that he was covered on insurance, I sent his butt right on over to the general doctor. And it just so happens to be the same general doctor that was my mama's, who's now dead. So now we need to rethink this. But I said, you need to go get your blood pressure done. You need to have them look at your finger. And I need all these things looked at. The general doctor under my insurance figured it out all in one day, and it ended up costing him a finger. Because the VA
like
did not
right?
diagnose it correctly. Yeah, it's about a quarter of it. It's not the whole thing.
Yeah, they found that it was cool to look at the X-ray. I mean, I understand now why it hurt like hell. Because
the cancer was eating into your bone.
My bone in my finger had almost liquefied, right, and was coming out of my finger as a liquid. Yeah, figure that out, right? And he's like, has anyone taken an X-ray? I'm like, no. He was like, let's do that. He looked at the X-ray. He said, yeah, you're going to lose that one. I'm like, wait, what?
That sounds like a good old boy doctor.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
It's not like a very bedside manner. No, you're going to lose that.
He's like, well.
You can keep the rest, but that part, no.
Like, couple things. Well, you got cancer, and we're going to take as much as your finger and possibly some of your hand if we have to try to catch it and stop it. I'm like, wait, hold up. I just need a shot. I'm good. And kind of find out it was really, really bad, man. Really bad. And it's one of the most excruciating things as far as pain I've ever gone through. And I've had knee surgeries. I mean, just major surgeries. That one was, when he finally did that, took it off, was the first time I felt relief in a long time. So, yeah. Now that we bored everybody to death.
But I got the 3/4 of a middle finger,
Yeah, well, I'm lucky because I honestly thought that when I come out of surgery, I would have not only that gone, but part of my hand gone too.
Yeah.
So
they told you when you had surgery, they were like,
going into surgery,
we know this much is going, but
yeah,
it could change.
He said his exact words were, we're going to start here and we're going to keep cutting back until we get it all. I'm like, wow. I said, so what do you mean? He said, you can wake up and have only part of your finger gone, or you can wake up and have your index and middle finger gone and part of your hand. So when I went into surgery, not knowing how much I was going to lose, and I just waited to, because I just had to. And it's funny because I really didn't know really and truly what I'd lost because they had my hand so wrapped up and I couldn't feel anything. And I didn't know until they unwrapped it and I saw it for the first time. And I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, so I didn't lose this. I didn't lose that.
Right.
But I had no idea, man. I went in there blind, not knowing what they were going to do.
Yeah, and just for the record, Bobby and I were already planning on getting married, so I did not just marry him.
I needed my green card.
I married him so I could start working on prolonging his life,
keeping me around,
keeping him around. So I mean,
we just moved it up.
Right?
We were planning on getting married in October, and we moved it up.
We were not the perfect couple. Everybody has their arguments. Hell, Bobby and I just had an argument on the show last week about actions.
Argument.
Well, that was a disagreement. But I do love him, and I think that with No Religion Required, it has helped us grow more than it's allowed us to be better allies. It's allowed us to be better people, because not only are we calling each other shit out on live air, we do have other people calling us out too. And that's cool. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with, and I think I've had several rants about it, is don't be a dick. That's the only thing I ask. Don't be a dick.
There's definitely a lot of that happening.
Yeah, and that's and the reason why I say that is because that's one of the things that I've learned how to, I've learned how to use my voice through the show. And used to, I'd be like, oh wow, that person, and I never would say anything, even if they were being it to me. And now I'm like, don't be a dick. I'll tell you straight up, do not be a dick. I will call you out on it. So the show's helped me grow better as a person. It's gotten me more mouthy. Maybe that's the reason why I'm known as Mouth of the South.
Just what I need, more mouth.
So, and I have to say that I am proud of Zach that he's at his 100th episode. I do.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I do remember.
For the YouTube people, the T-shirt abides.
Yeah, the T-shirt abides, man.
The one so far.
Yep.
And I remember, hanging out with Zach in Atlanta and going, dude, you gotta, man, dude, you got to go live. You got to start doing the stuff live, and and I remember how excited you were. And I think now you have some time, and I'm not quite sure because I don't really keep up with sports, but don't you have a drinking football podcast that you do or something?
Yeah, I do on Wednesday nights. We have a solid one listener, so it's going really well.
Hey, as long as one person listens.
Hey, one person is more than what you had before.
Well, this show is my excuse to talk about atheism. That show is my excuse to talk about football because I have a significant other who has interest in neither. But you're talking about keeping the atheist community together. Bobby, I believe we have an event coming up shortly that will help in that regard. Don't you have some words on that and maybe a slightly edited version of that?
Yeah, we do. On July 22nd, Secular Saturday will be taking place at the Brainerd United Methodist Church in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Secular Saturday is a convention aimed at social progressives and free thinkers of all strides. It's an opportunity to meet, learn from, and network with like-minded people and groups. Now, the cool thing is the keynote speaker is Mandisa Thomas. She's the president of Black Non-Believers. There's going to be a podcast panel, and it's going to feature hosts from our show, No Religion Required, Cynic, City Skeptic, the Podunk Polymath Podcast, Atheist in the Trailer Park, Not Another Atheist Podcast, and your very own Zach from Zachrilege Cast.
Huh.
It's an interfaith panel of Chattanooga. This is a Q&A session where you can ask questions of representatives from Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, and atheism. Now, depending on how many tickets are sold, there may be an after party, but we won't know until we just got to get an idea. Tickets for the convention are available now. They're only $30 in advance and $40 at the door. And this includes not only admission to the conference and all of the speakers and everything else, it also includes a catered lunch from Moe's, from what I understand. Sponsorships and vendor spaces are available as well. For more information, they can go to www.secularsaturday.com for ticket information. So I actually hope that people will come hang out because I'm actually doing a talk called Bridging the Gap. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. How's that for live read?
I know. I'm like, so every week, what you doing about 8:20 on Tuesday night? Yeah. Might have to get the recorded version in the future. I should have. I'll just rip that, and that'll be it.
I'll be your voiceover guy live from Atlanta.
That's good. Yeah, I need like a hype man or something.
That's right.
So Ashley is still around. I see a light turned on. Is that the one light that actually works in your house? After the pre-show, we found out we had some light issues.
No. Yeah, she has her work phone went off, and she is now sitting on the couch with a laptop on her lap. Because that's what she does. She works all the damn time. So
yeah,
she has vacated me and is now looking at her laptop for something. So
if you want to feel, if you didn't go to ReasonCon, we talked enough about ReasonCon to hype it. If you didn't go to ReasonCon and you want a place that'll kind of feel a little bit like that, yeah, Chattanooga will be where it's at. I feel like it's not going to be the probably 400 people that were there, but a lot of podcasters are going to be there in that area, and we have a pretty good concentration in the South. It's not too bad.
Well, the good thing is we need more conferences in the Southeast. More and more in the Southeast region, especially down here in the Bible Belt, we're starting to see more and more secular people in the area. They're kind of gaining some gumption and they're stepping out from underneath the blanket of religion, and they're being true to who they are. And we need more stuff down here for us. And the cool thing about Secular Saturday is this is the very first one. So you get to take part of something that's brand new that hopefully is going to be going on for years to come. And you'll be able to sit back and go, yeah, I was at the first one. And how cool is it that it's taking place at a Methodist church of all things? So don't worry, you're not going to burst into flames. We'll just we'll keep fire extinguishers around just in case. But you get an opportunity to take part in something that's pretty damn cool. If you've ever been to NanoCon in Nashville, This is going to be very similar to NanoCon. You're going to separate. You're going to go to different rooms. You're going to get a chance to meet some of your favorite podcasters, and you get to ask, questions of people that are Islamic. Can't wait to do that. I got some serious questions for them.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. NanoCon, I know you weren't able to make this year's, but it was like a Universalist church, and they had a campus. I mean, it was like acres. Like, you had to walk into the woods to go into one of the buildings.
Oh, wow.
Plus, afternoon, they were like, yeah, if you want to drink, go ahead. So, yeah, that was what we were doing. Yeah.
That's cool.
Bobby was ready to record some audio because he's, got the blackmail material going.
No, I was really disappointed that we didn't make it to that one. I really was, because I was looking forward to going, and I don't remember, something happened. I don't remember what happened. There's been so much shit that's happened in our lives in the last year that I can't keep track of it all. But we'll be at the next one, I promise you.
You've had enough drama, because the year before I was about to go, and then my mother-in-law had major back surgery like that 2 days before, and it was like, yeah, not happening.
Yeah, so it's that's why I'm looking forward to Secular Saturday, because I did miss NanoCon. So I'm hoping that I'll get to see some of the same people that I hung out with at NanoCon at Secular Saturday, and Brian and Lexi's doing a real good job with it. So I'm looking forward to it.
And speaking of another alcoholic event from ReasonCon, so Brian told me that he was into sour beers. So I brought a ton of sour beers, and I actually had a 6-pack for them. They came to my room, they drank 2 of them, they left. Then somehow Brian got into whiskey or something, and he was pretty much out of commission like during the dinner on Saturday night, and they never came back to claim their beer. So I feel like I owe them some beer, and I'm bringing it up to Chattanooga. And by the way, my second half beer is the Southern Tier Chocolat. I don't know why these chocolate stouts, they got to throw a little licorice in there, and that's just not one of my favorite flavors. But otherwise, it's a solid dessert kind of beer.
Yeah, I must think it's still the same cup of Folgers that I had at the beginning.
Cup of Folgers.
Yeah, man, I'm all about coffee. So.
What's the current status of the Cat Underground Railroad you have going on? Because I feel like between like Pennsylvania and Savannah and even like Florida, there have been cats going back and forth in North Carolina for years. So what's happening now?
All kitties have been dispersed. Susie has her kitty up there, and we only have one, and that's the way I hope to keep it. The kitties we had, they were found. They were basically just kind of abandoned and were bottle fed, like with droppers, And so one is in Florida, one's in Pennsylvania, and we have the other one. And they're all solid black, very cool. If you're superstitious, you're not listening to this show anyway. But I like an all black cat, so she's cool. So no kitty underground anymore, buddy. Those days are over.
Well, as Jeannie says in the chat room, one pussy is not enough.
Look, I'm doing my best just to keep the one I've got happy.
Aren't we all? Yeah, we have 2 black cats, and they're just not so big on Showtime.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep the one I got. Ashley wants the cat to fatten up. I can't feed the cat anymore. I mean, the cat free feed. We keep a big bowl of food, and she's pissed off because when we got to Pittsburgh for vacation, our cat's sibling, her sister, was twice the size of our cat. Now Ashley's pissed off because Susie got a fat cat. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're hoping now that we've got her fixed and all that, she'll fatten up a little bit because she's a little tiny, bony little thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I guess to see the chat room, I have to go somewhere. Yeah, I guess.
Well, I have access to it. I don't know. It's not quite like Spreaker where it's just out there. Like I had it. In fact, I didn't realize till probably 5 episodes ago there was a chat room, and usually there's like, one person in there. So I got like 3 right now. So yeah, Bill Hunsaker, who I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, Bill.
Wendy K and Jeannie from Polyaskery. They're in there and saying hi and giving me some ideas.
Wendy's in there too. Awesome.
So while
you mean she got out of the woods long enough in order to watch a live show? Awesome. Yeah. Wendy takes some of the most beautiful pictures you'd ever want to look at, man. If you have not seen her photos of where they're hiking, you are missing out, my friend.
Bill says they say hi. The other Bill, I think he was on Barometheus like the week after me, and that was like the one time I said hi, and I think since then we've barely chatted. But yeah, there's another Bill out there. So since the first episode when we talked to each other, you had this understanding with Ashley that you cook during the week, and then somehow you cook during the weekend too. So has Miss Ashley found the kitchen in the past 2 years?
She knows where it's located. She knows where it's located because she sees me standing in it a lot. No, I give her a hard time. But Ashley does her share of cooking. We kind of have this deal worked out. During the week, she works a lot. I'm willing to bet she does 70 to 80 hours a week. So she's always working. Like now, she got up and left the table, and she's sitting over there with a laptop on her lap. So during the week, I do the cooking, but on the weekend, she does. So it works out. I give her a hard time because I do most of the cooking. That's because there's 5 days during the week and only, Saturday and Sunday on the weekends. But it's a mutual agreement.
Yeah, I tend to. I wasn't much of a cook until I met my wife, and then somehow it became my thing. And now I have the big green egg. I'm living the good life. But yeah, during the week,
awesome. Hell yeah.
We did that HelloFresh thing for a while, and now we're just recreating the recipes. And yeah, those usually turn out pretty good, but it does take a little bit of work, but it's kind of fun to do. So why did you guys quit reading the Bible on your show?
Because Ashley, look, it got to the point where reading the Bible felt more like a chore for Ashley. I mean, I've read the damn thing multiple times. I know what's in there. But it got to the point to where she was dreading reading it. It just got so boring for her, and it got to where it was no longer enjoyable. And I said, well, I don't want anything with the show to feel like it's a chore. I want you to enjoy coming on the show. I want you to enjoy being part of the show. And if that means removing the Bible segment, we will. And that's essentially what happened. So Bible reading went away. It was a lot of fun in the beginning, but it got to the point where she just really, truly was not enjoying it. So we niched it.
Well, at the rate Bill and Susie are going, they'll get through the Bible in about year 2030. And it took Thomas, he had that show Thomas in the Bible. It didn't take him like 6 years to finish. I mean, it's not it's not light reading that you just pick up at the beach and finish in a week. I mean, it's deep.
Well, I think we probably should have done it the way Noah and Lucinda did it on The Skate and Atheist. Just paraphrase the damn thing instead of sitting down and reading it word for word. That was probably our biggest mistake. But I wanted her to read it. I wanted her to know what was in it. And by the time we got to the verse, she was done.
Yeah, I think anybody I know who's Christian and really talks about how awesome the Bible is, I'm like, maybe I should play them like audio.
Clearly hasn't read it.
Miss Ashley reading the names of all the characters.
And the hitty-titties.
Which we kind of miss. Dense, not deep. That's a good comment right there.
Do what?
Oh, that was just from the chat room. The Bible, dense, not deep. Now, in the first show the one Miss Ashley did, she was puffing away on some kind of thing, and you guys quit. So what happened? How did you guys end up quit smoking?
Well, I'm using this, and this seems to be working very well for me. We went on a 24-hour broadcast-a-thon this last year's 24-hour broadcast-a-thon through Dogma Debate. And Ashley had this great idea, and I say that sarcastically, that if we reach $3,000 for the donations within our hour, that we would give up cigarettes. Now, if you remember the year before that, um, we had done the broadcast bomb, but we'd actually flown to Dallas for it. We were actually there for it then. And I forget, there was something, I don't remember now. We had to reach a certain dollar amount for us to do something. Oh, Ashley would give up some for a month.
Right, yeah.
And she gave it up for a month, and it was tough. And this second time, at $3,000, we said we were smoking. And we had a listener that said, look, if you reach $2,000, I'll shave my beard. And this guy was rocking a serious beard. And he did it. He shaved his beard at $2,000, and at $3,000, we were done. So it was for a good cause. So I keep my vape thing around. It works great.
So what led to you, you made the transition from editing to a live show. What made you decide to switch nights?
The nights. We did Sunday since day one. I think I started in 2012, I think, something like that, somewhere around there. A long time ago. It feels like forever. And it got to the point to where Sunday night was getting harder and harder for us to do because we wanted to do more traveling. And we would go to, say, North Carolina. Say we'd go see Dobler on the weekend. We'd have to leave real early on Sunday to make sure we were back in time for a show that evening. So we did a show on a Wednesday night, and it just worked. I mean, we got off work, we had dinner, and it just went live at 8 o'clock, and it worked out better for us than having to rush back on Sunday and do a show. So we did it because, well, we enjoy traveling. We like spending time with family and friends. So we just moved it to Wednesday. And it seems to work out fine for us. There have been some weeks that it just flat out didn't work. And more, we're hoping to get more, I don't want to say the word serious because we are serious about it, dedicated maybe to Wednesday nights. There are sometimes that it's hard, and if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But we're trying to get back to every single week. It's tough, especially with her work schedule.
Yeah, it's always like Sunday night was like, well, that's the end of the NFL Sunday for me, and I think I've been on live once. And then Wednesday night, 8 o'clock is exactly when I do my other show going.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, but I've actually found, and it's really nothing against anybody's show, that I actually like just prefer listening to it in podcast form. Like live, it's weird because you have this chat and you're trying to like chat with people and listen to the show at the same time, and you're missing a lot of it because you're chatting and you're like, the chat thread, I don't know how as a like, because you have like 50 people chatting, if not more. I have 3, and I'm like, what's going on? And it's like, how do you pay attention to that and try to
it's hard
to concentrate? I'm like, I have a list of questions. I'm just going to stick with that. You people, I'll talk to you later. It is a
but the funny thing about that I've noticed about the chat is 9 times out of 10, the chat is not about the show. We'll be discussing whatever, and in the chat room, they're having their own conversation. It's like many times I sit there wondering, are they even listening? Because they're off on a tangent talking about something that's totally opposite of what we're talking about on the show. And I used to go back and look at the chat, because I don't get to see every bit of it. So I used to go back and just listen and then try to follow the chat along with the show. Oh, hell no. It's impossible. We're talking about how Jesus sucks, and in the chat room, they're talking about last Sunday's football game. And it's like, you can't follow that. But I love the fact that they show up. I love the fact that they get into their conversations and they chat. I love it. And it's true. We really do get a lot of questions in the chat room that help contribute to the show. And a lot of times, if it wasn't for that, it'd be tough. Because you get into a topic, you can only talk about that topic for so long. And then luckily, we have our family that comes in there, our listener family, and they start popping questions at us, and it helps keep the show flowing. So I really, really rely on the listeners that come in the chat.
Yeah, it does. It does help, and it's kind of like Reason Con. I'm sure your experience is like mine, where you're just pinballing off people, so you just kind of bounce around. You can't really focus, and it's perfectly fine. I have to ask about your other show. So you're doing a show now with Mr. Jerry DeWitt, and talk about a guy who's got the smooth, silky tones.
Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, we're doing a Hope After Faith. It's named after his book. And look, Jerry is freaking amazing. I mean, he's got the smoothest voice you ever want to listen to, and he's probably the most articulate person I've ever talked with. I mean, just he has a way with words. And when I reached out to him and said, "Listen, I got this idea," I really didn't expect him to say yes. I honestly didn't. I sent him an email and said, "Hey, I got this idea for a show. I understand if you can't do it, but I think it'd be cool to do something called Hope After Faith." And he was wanting to get off the speaker circuit. It wound up being very hard for his family life. And he was wanting to get off the speaker circuit. Well, the podcast idea came about the time that he was starting to back down off of going to conferences and stuff like that. And it opened up an opportunity for him to do what he loves to do. And Jay will tell you he loves to talk. And it has gone well. I think we're over a year now, and the show's going great. We were doing it every week, and it got to the point where Jerry is doing so much traveling for work that we actually had to take it down to once a month. So now we just go live every third Thursday of every month. We go live, and that's our one episode for the month. And as Jerry's schedule kind of levels out, we'll go back to doing it more often, but right now we have to do it once a month, and that's Hope After Faith podcast with Jerry DeWitt. And look, what better way to make yourself look good than to team up with someone like Jerry DeWitt? Jerry makes me look good.
Well, you could say you both raise each other's games, but it's time. We're actually way past the 40-minute part, but it's time for live read 2, and I can't do Bobby's silky voice, but I can try. So Marissa McCool is about to host the other event of the summer, the 100th episode of Inciting Incident Live. Chris Cluey, scathing atheist, some lawyer who really likes scotch, all getting together in July because she knows how to do a 100th episode. I just ask people 24 hours in advance, "Hey, can you show up?" That's how I do my 100th episode. So yeah, that's my style.
That's okay.
So with Miss Ashley always busy, how do you occupy yourself with all the free time you got at home?
I have gotten into Netflix as my friend, and I've gotten into to watching different shows. I am still currently writing. I enjoy writing. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy doing it. I'm putting up I'm doing the finishing touches to a book that I'm writing. I've been working on it now for about 3 years. It's just kind of something that I worked on periodically. I've never really got dedicated to sitting down and doing it. That's called a letter to my Christian family, and it talks about why I left Christianity and all that. And so for the last couple of weeks, I've been getting everything together for Secular Saturday, working on PowerPoint presentation, getting my talk squared away. And that's about what I do, man. I mean, my day starts blood crack early in the morning, and by the time I get home, I'm drained. So I kind of melt into my sofa, and I put my MacBook on my lap. I'll either work on my talk, I'll work on my book, or I'll find something to watch.
Now, did you see the Netflix Madeline Murray O'Hare movie?
I did, and I was pissed off.
Because my wife and I, we had Netflix when they had the discs.
Yeah.
We quit it, and then we got it because the Gilmore Girls reunion, and I saw a trailer. I'm like, the Madeline Murray O'Hare story, that is film worthy. That is going to be good. And then it came out, and I heard all this bad stuff. I'm like, well, let me see it. And I saw it. I'm like, the people who produced this, do they like atheists? Because they did such a bad job of telling their story. It was like TV movie level. And I remember you talking about how they made her curse so much. And I'm trying to remember who it was. Like somebody who worked with her was like, yeah, they showed her this like alcoholic. I saw her hold one drink ever her entire life. And it just was like, how many times, you know, Gam, for example, all these Christian movies come out and they suck and they make like $50 million, and an atheist movie comes out and it sucks, and it's like, we don't get this many opportunities to tell these stories. And Madeline Murray O'Hare's story is a good story. It just was so bad.
Well, after I watched it, I sent out something on Facebook asking, was this really how she was? You know, because I found it very hard to believe that the way they portrayed her in the movie was how she was in real life. I mean, I think they exaggerated everything. And I can't remember what show I listened to, but they had someone on that knew her very well. They're like, no, they didn't portray her well at all.
On the way home from ReasonCon, I think it was Thinking Atheist, and he did an entire episode. And I'm like, damn, of course, Thinking Atheist, who's got a silky voice as well, and I know you've had him on. Yeah. He did it, and I'm trying to remember the name of the guy, and he actually did like an article on like Pathos, I think. They kind of talked about his own experience because he actually worked with American Atheists, like, because even the son of hers who became like a Christian, like, and wrote his own book, they made him into this over-the-top drunk, like, all of a sudden, and then he
and then he found
got his life together, and the whole. I mean, she gets kidnapped by these people who used to work for her, and that story was totally screwed up and way less interesting than it actually was, and they made him like into more than he was for the like pretending that they really were incompetently run. Yeah, we let this total criminal guy that we just looked at his resume for 2 seconds run our entire operation. The reason why he was running their operation is because they were all in the state of California because they'd been sued, and the entire like leadership was there, so they gave him temporary. He was in charge of the office, and he like shut it down and stole all their money, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna fire you. Of course. Yeah. But then the guy kidnaps the family and kills them, and they tried to make it into this like Fargo like kind of tragic comedy that just wasn't good.
It was horrible. It truly was.
I was like, okay, can we pretend that didn't happen and actually put a little bit of a budget, you know, crazy billionaire money, and perhaps somebody do it correctly someday.
Can we have a film that's not all B-roll? You know, you nailed it. After school special quality. You nailed it.
And it was sad.
It was horrible. I was so disappointed. That is time that I'll never get back.
And I think it took me 2 or 3 times to watch it. Like sometimes you watch a movie, like, you know, a movie's not good if you end up watching it in like 3 viewings. Like I watched the Suicide Squad movie, and I realized I was like on my 4th time trying to watch it, and I was like 35 minutes in. I'm like, dude, they throw in all these pop music cues, but it's horrible. You can tell they re-edited the shit out of it, and it still made $200 million or 500, whatever. But it was just like, oh.
I'm so glad you said that, because we went and saw Suicide Squad in IMAX 3D, right?
Oh gosh, you really went out.
And we left the movie, and I'm like, you know, I can't tell you a damn thing that happened in that movie. It was what I told Ashley. I mean, I had no recollection of anything that happened in that movie. And I spent like $100 that night, you know, and it came to the point where I've now watched it 3 times. And finally, I can tell you about halfway what happened. It's just Suicide Squad. I'm with you. 3 times is what I've watched so far.
So I'll need to make my way through. I'm trying to. There's some other movie in HBO. Yeah, it's you'll watch 10 minutes at a time, and you're just like, nah, this isn't it. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the Wonder Woman movie was very good. So, you know, if you haven't seen it, it's quality.
We actually went and saw it in IMAX as well, and
It. That's a scary movie. By Stephen
Miss
King.
Ashley, she's back. Yeah. Woohoo. I wish I had the applause
You
sound.
didn't actually saw it in the movie theater. That's actually a movie
we were
title.
presently talking about Wonder Woman.
She's my
You didn't
hero.
know that because, well, you were over there working. But we were talking
It's all about you.
Wonder Woman movie, and he said it was great, and I was telling him we went and saw it at an IMAX. I didn't think it was that great.
Oh, I loved it.
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean,
I think what you were expecting
I was so bored.
Well, I think what you were expecting was the old version
I was
of
looking
Wonder
for the
Woman.
invisible fucking jet, and it wasn't
But-
there.
That didn't happen. You're right.
The Wonder Woman, it brought to life a lot of issues that women today face. You know, and the empowerment that Wonder Woman has for a lot of women. So yeah, unless you're
I
a
was
woman,
dozing.
unless you're a woman, you probably wouldn't understand.
I guess not, because there's one point where my head was not, and I'm like,
It was like a $10 nap for you.
and I've never really been a superhero type guy anyway. I've never been.
You're my superhero.
Oh, thank you, honey. But I've never been like Marvel versus DC and all this. That's just never been my.
See, you're not normal because you don't watch Star Trek. You ain't
No.
watch Star Wars.
I did. I watched all the Star Wars.
Oh,
things.
well, Star Trek, and you're not a Marvel comic type person.
No, I'm not a Marvel DC. I could give two shits about football.
Wow.
I mean,
Actually, Bobby and I'm surprised we've been kicked out of the Atheist Club for not being into Star Trek because I never watched the show.
first of all, the reason I'm still into Atheist Club is because I got a bald head and a goatee. Okay?
Right.
I still
I have neither, so this is
So-
a wig. This is a wig right here.
Yeah.
It's an anti-wig.
No, I'm bald head goatee. So I mean, I fit in, but I don't know. It was just boring for me. I don't know. Boring for me.
Well, I'm back, but I'm also about to have to leave because now I got to go pick up the boys. They just called.
Yes, and I'm about to starve. I know. Weeknight,
Well,
my night
I
to
was about to
cook,
say it was
but I've
your
been
night
on
to
the show.
What were you doing when you got home?
It's Zach's fault.
Because I didn't get home till 6:30, and
Yeah,
there was no
I got
dinner
home
cooked.
like 6:20.
Oh, you so full of shit.
Well, you're so full of shit. We're almost at an hour anyway, so it's probably a good time to call it quits. And perhaps we should talk more often than every 2 years on the show. So we'll have to keep up with things. Maybe I can get back on No Religion Required one of these weeks.
Well, now that it's on a Wednesday, you probably can.
That's true. At the exact same time. I'll have to figure something out. Could do a crossover.
Hey, I know what we could do. We could combine them both. You go live on your end, and we'll go.
Football and No Religion Required.
Yeah.
Although we do talk about kind of social justice-y things. It's weird how many years of talking football, you're like, yeah, football eventually, there's only so many things to talk about, but there's other subjects. So where can people find the two of you and keep up with your, your therapy?
You ass. You said Savannah, Georgia. You just go away. Seriously. Damn. iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. They can find us on Facebook, No Religion Required. They can join the family page. It's No Religion Required family page on Facebook. And then the other show is Hope After Faith. You can.
Well, that's where you can find Bobby.
That's where you can find me hanging out with the sweet dulcet tones of Jerry B. Witt.
I get booted off of that.
So we're on Facebook for both shows, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. No Religion Required goes live Wednesday evening now at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And Hope After Faith is live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. But keep in mind, it's every third Thursday right now. We're on a once-a-month schedule.
I got a question.
Okay.
Why do we always say 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central? Do you forget that there's a Pacific and a Mountain?
Do you really want me to go 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain?
What time is it? Greenwich.
Right.
Well,
sorry.
What time is it in Antarctica, huh? What about them?
If
You got to be fair. Look,
First of
all
all-
time zone, hashtag all time zones matter.
first,
There you go.
you live on the West Coast, add 3 bits.
All
Wow.
Add 3.
hashtag
So,
all time zones matter.
or if we go live at 8, track 3, there it is.
Wait, what?
If we go live at 8 and you're on the West Coast, subtract 3.
Oh,
Hey.
I thought you said, never mind, I don't know.
Bye, Ashley.
Sounds like someone might be playing with their own equipment tonight.
Oh, like that's something
I had to put that in there.
new. Yeah, thanks.
Bobby, Ashley, I know Ashley's probably hitting the road, but thank you very much for continuing to support the show for some reason,
Absolutely, man.
and for being back on, and just for being continuously awesome. And we will see you in a few weeks in Chattanooga, so that'll be good. And what's great is I don't get to say my entire ending because this isn't it. You think this is it for episode 100, but it's not.
Nope.
Stick around for part 3, in which I thank everyone. And if I miss someone, I'll make it up in episode 200 or in hell.